Iran appears to be stepping up its nuclear enrichment program and getting closer to building its first atomic bomb. Iranian state media reported Tuesday that the country has started producing 60% pure uranium at the underground Fordow nuclear plant, which is south of Tehran. Scientists were already processing 60% pure fuel at another facility. The next step would be refining the fuel to 90%. That's weapons grades, and experts warn Iran already has enough fuel to process into a nuclear weapon. Negar Mortazavi joins me now. She's an Iranian journalist and commentator and host of the Iran podcast. Thank you for joining us. Right now, neither the U.S. nor Iran are following the nuclear deal that was hashed out in 2015, which would limit Iran's production of fuel. Is this further enrichment a sign that Iran is not wanting to rejoin a deal?
But it's definitely an escalation. The Iranian side is still claiming that they're interested in joining the deal, and they're actually saying they're the ones in the deal out of compliance, and the United States is the one out of the deal and out of compliance, and they've been calling on the Biden administration to sort of rejoin the deal since the beginning of the administration, President Biden. But this is just a serious escalation, as nuclear experts are also saying, and it's going to make it even more difficult for Iran to come back, if the two sides were to make a deal even, for Iran to come back to full compliance and essentially reverse these steps that are being taken. It's also raising a serious proliferation concern, and Iran is essentially shortening the time, the breakout time, as it's called. It's not a nuclear weapon state, but it's that time that's needed for a non-weapons program, or for the fuel to essentially be used and turned, a civilian program to be turned into a weapons program. And that's just concerning, as we saw messages coming from the United States and also its European partners, the E3 in Europe.
Speaking of escalation, on another front, Iran has supplied Russia with drones during its invasion of Ukraine. Recent U.S. intelligence suggests Moscow and Tehran cut a new deal for more drones. As relations with the West stall, could Iran find solace under the umbrella of Russian influence?
Well, that seems to be the direction they're going, especially with this hardline administration that came into power in Tehran, the hardline president, Raisi, last year. The year before that, the hardliners consolidated power in the Iranian parliament. And so sort of the entire country is going a more hardline and east-leaning direction. Also, with President Trump pulling out of the nuclear deal in 2018 unilaterally, and the essentially campaign of maximum pressure, as he called it, on Iran, economic sanctions, very tough, crippling economic sanctions. This shift to the east had already been underway. And with Russia's attack on Ukraine and that war, things just got so much more complicated, both for the nuclear negotiations and also Iran's very difficult relations or tensions with the West. And I think it's only pushing them even further towards the east, looking to Russia for military support and also to China for trade and business.
As we said before, nuclear non-proliferation experts claim Iran has enough fuel to process into an atomic weapon. How long would that take, and how real is the threat of Iran actually using a nuclear bomb?
I don't want to pretend like I'm a nuclear expert. It seems to be a matter of less than a year, but I think what's important is that, my reading and analysis from Tehran is that they haven't made that calculation yet, that they want to break through from a civilian program and turn into an actual nuclear weapons state. Because at the end of the day, it is still not a weapons program, even though the material could be potentially used to build one bomb. But it's just that breakout time, as nuclear experts are calling it, that makes it quicker and faster were they to make that decision to move into that direction. I feel like their calculation is that it is still in their interest to remain in this deal, although they're out of compliance of the JCPOA. They're still technically remaining in the deal and to sort of continue this negotiation with the West. But at the same time, this is their way of escalating and sort of strengthening their hand when it comes to the negotiating table, to be able to put more pressure on Washington and its Western partners.
Well, it's very fascinating to watch things kind of unravel from afar. But thank you for your context, Negar Mortazavi. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.